Hey everyone, welcome back to Cello Tips. Today we've got a very special treat. So recently I was chatting on the phone with my former teacher, Susan Moses, who I actually studied with for over 10 years growing up. And she's an absolutely incredible artist, cellist, and person. And in many ways I owe everything to her. So we got to talking more about shifting, and there are some great tips that I want to pass along to you guys about how to make shifting more comfortable, more natural, and really successful. So there's a fundamental technique that Susan taught me about shifting that I'm going to explain to you guys, and then after that we have 3 bonus tips for you to help you out in your practice sessions. So stick around for those. So the fundamental technique begins in the way that I told you guys in the previous episode, where we really find the top note, the destination note. So say for this example, we're going to go C to C, okay? So the top note here, we find it. And we find really the most desirable sound, our perfect sound, what we really imagine, and we just get comfortable there, okay? We feel the balance, the weight everywhere in the body. We get really comfortable. So this is like our home, okay? And only once we've mastered that feeling, now we're going to do the shift, but backwards. So we'll start from the top, start on the up bow, and we're gonna go back down, and then we're gonna go back up, and we're gonna do 2 bows per note, okay? This is the exercise. So by doing this over and over again, we are going to create these sort of train tracks. You know, we have this pathway between our 2 places of ease and comfort, the 2 positions, and we develop this pathway, okay? And before we go back up, we've got to cover a few more things here. So when you're at the bottom of the shift, a lot of people, they get so anxious to return back to the top immediately. But don't. Just take it easy, relax there, take your time, be comfortable. And then think, I don't know if you guys like basketball, I'm a big basketball fan. Think of some of the great players when they go for a 3-point shot and they set themselves up and then they extend and release and follow through. It's beautiful, natural motion, okay? We're going to think about the same thing when we do the shift, okay? That's the first thing. The second thing that we need to know before the shift is if I keep my arm, my elbow in the same place that it is now, I'm going to have a problem, right? Because it runs into the side of the cello here. So I need to somehow get my elbow and my wrist higher for where it's natural for this position. And we are going to recommend that you do that before the shift, not at the last second like this, because that's going to mess up your natural pathway, right? Okay, so think about those things. Think about the comfort of each spot and this natural release into the other one. So now we'll do the exercise just like this. So you notice on the bottom note, right before I shift, I bring the elbow back, adjust the hand to the new position, and then release into it, okay? So this is really the fundamental technique. I hope that makes sense. I hope it works for you. Now we'll go on to the 3 bonus tips. So the first one is a practice method where you really define the position that you're going to. So you're not just jumping from one note to another note, but you're kind of going from this block of a position to another block, okay? So we can practice this by not only going to the 3rd finger, but also to the 2nd finger on B, for instance, or the 1st finger on A. Okay, so I will practice like this, and also with double stops across both strings, so you get this position. These sorts of things, so you really develop the security of the positions, and then you go back, and just the simple shift will be so much easier. Okay, the second bonus tip for you is a really interesting technique where you actually intentionally practice undershooting the shift. So instead of going to the C, I'm going to go to like kind of a high B natural. Okay? And the purpose of this is to give yourself this little bit of room at the end in which the actual performance of the shift, your ears are going to do the work in that last second. Okay? And the reason why we undershoot the shift is because, frankly, if you overshoot a shift in performance, it's just embarrassing because you have to go back and fix it. There's nothing else you can do. But if you undershoot the shift, you have this little bit of room that you can make the correction, you know. So we'll practice like that. Okay, and then once you've gotten that down, once that's natural, you'll just fill in the rest of the distance with your ears. And of course, at the end of the day, it depends on the musical context and exactly what kind of shift you want to do, but that will really help the technical motion that you need to master and get comfortable with. Okay? And then the final bonus tip is a technique that I've used in lots of aspects of playing that was passed down to me through Susan, which is when something is giving you a hard time, do something that is twice as hard and then go back to the one that you need to master, and it will be way easier because you've gotten used to the really difficult one. So in this instance, I would recommend you practice shifting one octave higher than you need to. Okay, so we'll go like... Practice this a ton of times, and then once you've mastered that, this one will be like it's nothing, like it's a walk in the park. Okay? So that's what I've got for you today. This is super valuable advice. I'm so grateful that it's been passed on to me, and I hope you guys can gain something from it and apply it in your own practicing. Anyhow, let me know in the comments if you have any questions or anything. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.